Okay, so my name is Joel, and I've been working with uPort and Consensus for about 2 years. And by now, uPort is like an international team of about 25 people in 4 continents. So it's quite a ride. All right. Okay, so I want to start by diving a bit deeper into what we're actually doing. So I'm going to start trying to explore the question of what is sovereignty. And I'm going to be borrowing from a definition used by some people at the Neurohacker Collective. And they basically boil it down to 3 different dimensions that are kind of orthogonal to each other. So the first one is sentience, and that's your ability to take in input from the world and use your sensors to like get data and input from the world. The second one is intelligence, and that is using the input that you have gotten to understand the world and basically make sense of what is happening in different ways, use your models to predict the future. And lastly, we have agency, and that is basically using your models to take action in the world and change the world as you see fit to make it better. And I'm gonna kind of frame some of the stuff I'm gonna be talking about from these 3 kind of pillars. So what is identity then? Well, it's really a deep and difficult question, and that has to do a lot with philosophy, and we're not really going to dive into that today. What we're going to be focusing on is more on the pragmatic side and see how we actually use digital identity. So it's about you, and it's about your relationships to other people and to institutions, organizations, and communities. And it's about your reputation that you have in communities and in society. And reputation is also, of course, different to different contexts. So in short, it's your digital self. Or you could also view it as your digital mirror image that you can use to understand yourself. And in terms of digital identity, we use it in a lot of places. So this is like societal services on the left, and then we have like more web-focused stuff on the right. So basically marketplaces, web services, yeah, a bunch of stuff. So this is basically how the world looks right now in terms of identity. You have data and control over your identity siloed in different sectors of society. So companies like Facebook and Google have a lot of your data and a lot of control over a lot of different people's data. Similarly, hospitals and health services are also have a lot of your data, but like they have a specific part of it. And banks have your financial data. And of course, we also have issues like a lot of people can't prove their identities, and these centralizing a lot of user data to a specific place, like a hospital or a bank, opens up for makes like the bank's honeypots for, or any kind of institution honeypots for hacking. And what does this mean for like your individual sovereignty? So let's think about the 3 categories I described earlier. So we have sentience. So if you want to get the data that you have, you have to go to the different institutions and the companies, and you can only view like small fragments of your online presence, your online identity, which means also that it's hard to make sense and understand and build models of how your online presence is, and like basically what your data is spread out, and you can't, like, it's hard to get a holistic understanding. And it's also harder to take action. For example, it's hard to change bank because you're in one system and their system kind of locks you in. So we are imagining something more akin to this, where the user has their data and control centered around themselves. And this allows you to gain a more holistic view of yourself. And I like really the analogy of like your digital mirror image. So you can start viewing yourself and your data as a whole, and that enables you to have a greater intelligence and understand what's happening with you and your data. And you could, the hope is that you can have different models that can help you understand your data. So say, for example, your health data and your social data from like social network, they might be interrelated, but before, or as the world is now, we can't really like analyze those data parts together and like see patterns that might be present there. And owning the data yourself also enables you to move more easily between different services. There might be one service that provide like social network kind of stuff, and you can move your social network data between different services.